Today's story is about two neighbors who catch feelings, but the whole situation just messes up the foundation of their relationship. On one side, you've got this rich kid whose old man is totally loaded, and he's too scared to own up to how he feels because he's petrified of his family. And on the flip side, there's this sweet, regular girl from a poor family who's dead stuck between the secret love in her heart and her dignity. Between the misunderstandings, the huge egos, and the broken promises, their whole thing hits a wall where every step they take just creates more drama. So, we gotta see if that sweet, regular girl finally gets to keep both her man and her self-respect, or if she doesn't. So, hey everyone, the name's Ishita, but I'm calling her Rachel, and the story kicks off in a college library. In a writing workshop, the professor asks this girl what she wrote. The girl says, "Nah, nothing." The professor tells her, "If you ain't gonna write squat, what's the point of even showing up?" But the girl totally wrote something, which she shoves in her pocket and just bails without saying a peep. This girl's name is Rachel, and she starts filling us in on her life. She said she's from a middle-of-the-road family, and right next to her small house is the huge, fancy mansion of Barcelona's richest family, the Hidalgo family. Every inch of this mansion looks like a royal palace, and right outside a tiny part of it is Rachel's pad, where she lives with her mom. The Hidalgo family has 3 sons. The oldest one's Artemis, the youngest is Apollo, and the middle one is named Aries, who's Rachel's mega crush. Rachel tells us she's so obsessed with Aries that she's saved everything about him. His workout plan, all his favorite and least favorite stuff, the whole deal's saved on her laptop. And the wildest part is that she's never actually had a real conversation with Aries face to face. Now, we see that Rachel's Wi-Fi is on the fritz on her laptop. After that, she starts checking the router, and right then, she spots Apollo chilling outside her window. She asks him, "Yo, are you on my Wi-Fi? How did you even get the password?" Apollo answers, "My brother Aries hooked me up with the password. I couldn't get reception in my room, so I just came out here." Saying this, he just splits. Now the whole drama in this story starts because of that password. Next, we see it's night, and Rachel's woken up by some seriously loud music. She gets up, looks out her window, and sees Aries standing down below, blasting tunes at full volume on a laptop. She gets kinda ticked and says, "You're pulling this off using my Wi-Fi. Turn that garbage down and get lost." Aries says, "You know a ton about me. Now I know a ton about you too." And then he calls her a witch and just takes off. The next morning at college, Rachel runs into her best friend, Yoshi. Yoshi always kidding around and tells her, "Rachel, I'm gonna be your man one day." But Rachel always just laughs off what he says. Then Rachel hits up her college sports field, where all the guys are getting their workout on the football ground, and Rachel is only there to scope out Aries. Suddenly, it starts pouring rain, and everyone starts bolting out of there. Then Aries starts walking home on his own, and Rachel quietly starts tailing him. But after walking for a bit, Aries suddenly vanishes right out of her sight. So Rachel starts looking all over the place, and right then, she falls into a ditch. But she manages to scramble out and starts looking around again. Then Aries sneaks up behind her, which makes her jump a little. Aries then asks, "Why are you stalking me out here?" Rachel stammers and says, "I wasn't following anybody." Then Aries writes something on her hand and says, "This is your Wi-Fi password, right? I had to hack your entire laptop because of this password, and I saw all your files. They were only full of my pictures and info. What's up with that?" Rachel says in a tiny voice, "Because I'm crazy about you, and I want you to be crazy about me too." Hearing this, Aries laughs and says, "Dude, you're not even my type." Rachel replies, "We'll figure that out later. For now, walk me home. I'm kinda spooked to go alone." But Aries says in a sassy way, "Bet, but first there's a catch. I'll only walk you home if you kiss me." Hearing this, Rachel says no way at first, and then she gives in. But just as Aries gets close to her to make out, he suddenly puts the brakes on and says, "It's late," and then he walks her all the way to her crib. Now, as soon as Rachel gets back to her place, the first thing she does is kill her Wi-Fi, and then she sits down to have dinner with her mom. Now, later that night, Aries quietly creeps into Rachel's room. Rachel is freaked out to suddenly see him and snaps, "Why did you show up here so late? I'm gonna call the cops on you." Aries replies, "Someone cut the Wi-Fi, so I came to turn it back on." And anyway, girls never snitch on their crush to the cops. Then Aries makes her sit on a chair and tells her to just chill. And then he slowly starts gently touching her legs and begins to kiss them. This makes Rachel's heart start beating out of her chest. But before things could completely spin out of control, Aries scrambles out the window and bounces, saying, "Good night, witch." Then, the next day, Rachel is slinging coffee at a cafe, and her friend Yoshi's there too. Suddenly, Aries rolls in, and Rachel tries to hide. But Aries spots her and cracks a joke. "Your job's pretty legit." Then he invites her to his club's grand opening party and says, "You can bring anyone you want with you." Now that night, Rachel and her friend Daniela show up at the party. Daniela is stoked and super impressed by how flashy the club is. Then Rachel catches Aries going into the club's VIP area, so she follows him too. But the bouncer stops her and says, "No entry without the password." Then Artemis pops up and lets Rachel go inside. But even after getting in, she can't find Aries. So she slips out the back door and finds Aries standing alone in an alley. Rachel walks up to him, starts talking to him, then gets right up close and starts making out with him. Aries slowly starts getting into the groove, but then Rachel smiles and says, "You messed with a witch. Now you're gonna have to take what's coming to you." Saying this, she leaves him right there and goes back into the club and orders a glass of water for herself. Apollo is already sitting there and says, "My brother never lets me drink." So Rachel orders him a drink, which Apollo chugs, but it hits him so hard that he starts losing it. Now, Rachel and her friend try to take him home, but Apollo refuses to go home because he's freaked out. When Rachel pulls out her phone to call Aries, Apollo chucks her phone outside and it totally breaks. Then Rachel takes him back to her place where Apollo crashes on her bed. A little later, Aries shows up and asks Rachel, "Why'd you give him a drink? He can't handle his liquor. I knew he wouldn't make it home after getting wasted. It's 6 in the morning right now, and I'm gonna have to hang out here for Apollo until Dad heads to the office." Then he stretches out on the bed too, after which Rachel quietly comes and lays down between them. But then, Aries slowly starts feeling up Rachel, which gives Rachel this weird rush, and they both start totally enjoying the moment. Then the next morning, Rachel starts spilling the tea to her friends about the night before, which makes Daniela super pumped. After this, Rachel and Yoshi head home to study. Then Rachel sees that a package arrived for her, which is a brand new cell phone, and a letter says that this gift was sent by Aries. After this, Rachel tells Yoshi to stick around and heads for Aries's place. Outside the house, she bumps into Artemis's secretary, Claudia, who tells her to go on inside. So Rachel goes straight to Aries's room and tries to give back the phone he gifted her. Aries says, "It's lame to return a gift, and besides, my brother smashed your phone." On this, Rachel says, "Only the screen was cracked. My old phone still works fine." Saying this, she puts the phone down and starts to leave, but then Aries stops her, grabs her hand and says, "I want to make out with you." Hearing this, Rachel snatches her hand away and starts to leave, but after a few steps, she runs back and starts kissing Aries. Aries figures out here that this is Rachel's first time, so he tells her, "Seriously, think this through again. Are you ready for this whole deal?" Rachel says yes, and then slowly, they both go for it and start going to town. And they both totally soak up this amazing moment. After all this is over, Aries suddenly gets up kinda rude and starts playing video games and tells Rachel to grab the phone and bounce. Seeing how he's acting, Rachel gets mad too, tosses the gifted mobile in the trash, and heads home. Getting back to her place, she tells Yoshi that they're not studying today, that she's not in the mood at all. Yoshi gets the memo that something went south over there, after which Rachel angrily slams her window shut because Aries' room is right there. Then the next morning, Rachel is at her writing workshop when suddenly a picture of Aries pops up on her mobile, where he's sporting Rachel's necklace. Seeing this, Rachel remembers that she left her necklace at Aries' place yesterday, so she immediately flies over to his house to get her necklace back. Aries is splashing around in the swimming pool with his buddies there. Then Aries comes over and jumps into the water with Rachel, after which Rachel says, "The water's salty." Aries explains, "I'm allergic to chlorine, so we skip the chlorine in it." Rachel says, "I'm so not feeling a swim. I need my necklace back." So Aries takes her to his room and puts the necklace on her neck himself. While putting the necklace on her, Aries kisses her again, which starts something up with Rachel. They both lose control again, and there's a storm in the room one more time. A little later, Aries suddenly gets up and ghosts out of the room, leaving Rachel there. He was feeling all anxious and restless, but right then, Claudia comes into the room, sees Rachel there, and starts giving her a hard time. Aries hears all this standing outside, but he doesn't step in. After this, Rachel angrily storms home. The next day, Yoshi takes Rachel to a party to lighten her mood, but Aries is already there with some other chick. Seeing this tanks Rachel's mood even more, so Yoshi tries to reason with her to ditch him and let's go have some fun at the party. After this, everyone on the dance floor starts getting down happily, but in the middle of all this, Rachel catches sight of Aries, who is full-on kissing another girl. Seeing this crushes Rachel, and her heart breaks. Then she rolls out with Yoshi to their college's swimming pool. Daniela is there with them too, and they both start chatting away. But while talking, Rachel is messing around and shoves him into the pool. But just as he falls into the pool, Daniela accidentally dumps some chemical into the pool. So Rachel quickly pulls him out, and the three of them flee the scene. On the flip side, Aries goes home, and he's not feeling too great. Then, when he tries to connect to Rachel's Wi-Fi, it won't hook up because Rachel had changed the password. And when he hacks it, he sees that Rachel wrote a nasty word in the password. On this, he loses it and messages Rachel that he hates her guts. Now, that night, Rachel stumbles home totally smashed, but she can't find her house key and just sits outside the house. Aries sees her and walks over there and carries Rachel into her room. Then Rachel says, "Tell me a story. After that, never let me see your face again." So Aries indirectly starts telling Rachel his own story. He tells her about his parents and how they both hooked up with different people right in front of him, and neither of them cared at all. After all this went down, his dad gave him advice to never fall for anyone because love makes you weak. That's why Aries is still terrified of love, so he doesn't end up falling for real. That's why he freaked out and bolted from the room last time. Then he also low-key tells her that he's fallen for Rachel, and Rachel dozes off while listening to all this. Then the next morning, Rachel's mom wakes her up. Then she sees on her mobile that Aries messaged something and then deleted it. Then she messages Aries to just leave her alone, but then she doesn't send it. On the other side, Aries keeps checking his phone, but he doesn't get any text from Rachel. Then Aries' dad and his older brother take him to a room and lay down the law with him. "We keep getting complaints from your college. You're gonna have to come work for our company. You can't run away from this. So, you gotta score an economics degree and become a good fit for our company, and ditch that girl you're wasting your time on." Actually, his dad found out everything about him and Rachel from his older brother. The next day, Rachel is studying in the library with Yoshi when suddenly Aries shows up and starts saying sorry to her. But Rachel goes off and takes him outside and says, "What did you think? That after pulling all that crap on me, you'd say sorry and I'd just let it go?" On this, Aries says, "I'm super embarrassed about what I did. I've never felt this way about anybody, so I want to make everything right again." Then he also asks her out on a date to a costume party, so Rachel thinks it over for a second and agrees to go. Now, Yoshi overheard all this, which makes him feel like crap because he likes Rachel. He tells Rachel, "You're messing up by giving him another chance. You know good and well he's just gonna use you and then ditch you like all the other girls. Don't come crying back to me later, because I won't be there for you then." Then, later, we see that the day of the date arrives, where Aries tells her, "We're skipping the costume party." I switched up the plan a little to make this moment even better. Then he takes Rachel to the very top of his own office building, where he already had dinner all set up. Rachel is totally shocked to see this and says, "We'll get dinner done, but what's the deal after that?" On this, Aries says that after dinner, whatever you want to do is going to happen. After this, they both start talking a lot. Then, after dinner, they both get in the zone and start getting it on right there. After this, we see them meeting up every day, and they become so hooked on each other that wherever they get an opportunity, their romance starts right there, and their days start flying by beautifully. Then one day, Aries was having dinner with his family, when suddenly his dad shows him the video of them hanging out on top of the office and starts going ballistic about it. "I told you not to chase after that girl. If this video had gotten out, your career would have been toast." Then Aries angrily storms out saying, "I don't want to work for this company, and I'm not into an economics degree either." Then he goes straight to the cafe where Rachel works and starts working there right alongside her. Now after a day, we see that when Aries' older brother, Artemis, goes to Aries' room, he finds a cap that belongs to that cafe, after which he looks up the address and shows up there. Getting there, he sees Aries working and also sees Rachel, which makes him furious at Rachel. After this, Artemis throws a company party at his house, where Aries brings Rachel with him to introduce her to his family. Rachel is nervous about whether Aries' family will even accept her, but Rachel doesn't realize that her own mom is waiting tables at that party. Then, when Aries starts introducing Rachel to his family, Artemis gives a sign to get Rachel's mom to serve drinks to insult Rachel. Then Rachel feels completely humiliated and gets super upset seeing her mom waiting tables and starts walking out of there. Seeing this, Aries tries to go and explain to her, but she slaps him and runs back home. Getting home, she cries her eyes out because she felt like Aries planned all this to embarrass her. And in this anger, she won't talk to him for days, but Aries tries his butt off to talk to her. Then, after a few days, they finally talk things out and they both apologize to each other. Then Aries tells her, "There's a prom party at college tomorrow, so can I go with you?" So Rachel says, "It'd probably be better if you just didn't show up." He still tries to talk her into it, but she won't budge and leaves. Now Rachel goes home and cries a whole lot, hugging her mom, and tells her that Aries screwed her over. So her mom tells her something to cheer her up. You know why your dad never got his book published? Actually, your dad never even hit up a publisher. He was a killer writer, but he didn't believe in himself. Then she says, if you really like Aries, go have a straight-up talk with him. If a relationship starts going south for some reason, you wisely only fix that reason, not the whole relationship. Then Rachel realizes that maybe she's been getting Aries all wrong. Then she immediately rushes to Aries' house, where his older brother tries to keep her from seeing him, but she still says sorry to Aries and walks away from there and messages Aries outside. I'll be waiting for you at the prom. And she gets to the prom party, where everyone is dancing their faces off, but she starts waiting for Aries. On the other side, we see Aries, who starts hustling to get to Rachel. But as soon as he gets to the party, Yoshi stops him at the door and says, "You're just playing games with Rachel. This ain't cool. You'll just use her for a bit and then leave her high and dry." An argument breaks out between the two of them about this. So Aries takes him over to the pool to explain to him. And while they're going back and forth, a scuffle starts between them. And during their tussle, Aries falls into the pool. And because there was chlorine in the water, Aries' breathing starts stopping because he was allergic to chlorine. On the other side, Yoshi goes straight to Rachel and tells Rachel, "Aries is here. And he came for you, but I got into a fight with him, and I pushed him into the pool." Hearing this, Rachel immediately bolts to the pool, but by then, Aries was passed out. Then Yoshi comes and pulls both of them out, and they immediately take him to the hospital. After this, we see Rachel, who stays at the hospital and helps him get back on his feet fast. And in the meantime, Aries' family finally gets it that it's better to accept his love than to lose their son. Then he gets better and splits to study medicine, which is what he wanted to do before too. Even though it was super tough for both of them to be separated, Aries video calls her every single day, and they start making out right during the calls. And sometimes Aries even comes to visit her. 4 months after all this, Rachel is reading a book to everyone that she wrote herself. That story touches everyone's souls, and everyone gets all emotional hearing the story and stands up and claps like crazy. Rachel titles that story, "Through My Window," and it was literally her own love story. The next day, Rachel was on her bed reading Aries' message and missing him big time. But then she sees that Aries is sitting on her window and texting her. She's totally caught off guard, and after finally meeting up after so many days, they're both ecstatic to have each other. And with that scene, the story wraps up right here. So guys, I really hope you dug this story.